Hi everyone, welcome back to a new session of the AWS. In this session, I will explain you what is Amazon Redshift, how we'll create it, and what is advantage of that. So if you're new to this channel, consider subscribing and pressing bell icon for more updates. Let's start with Amazon AWS Redshift. So first of all, what is Redshift? So Amazon Redshift is a fully managed petabyte scale data warehouse service in the cloud. We can start with just a few hundred gigabytes of data and scale to a petabyte or more. This enables us to use our data to acquire new insight for our business and customers. The first step is to create a data warehouse is to launch a set of nodes called an Amazon Redshift cluster. After our provision your cluster, you can upload your data set and then perform data analysis queries. Regardless of the size of the data set, Amazon Redshift offers fast query performance using the same SQL based tools and business intelligence application that you can use today. So let's see how we'll create it inside our login credential. For creating AWS Redshift, just click on services and go to your AWS or Redshift. Type here as a Redshift. So after saying this, click on this. Once you click on this, it will launch create cluster page from where you can create your cluster, and after providing the permission you can use it. So once you click and you can see the different introductions and data warehouse details, and the features or benefits is also available. So let's see the benefits. After that I will create it for you. So first of all, it is having fast performance, just like whenever we are working on AWS Redshift delivers 10x better performance than other data warehouse because it is closely or compact connected with other services. It uses machine learning, a massively parallel architecture, compute optimized hardware, and result set caching to deliver high throughput and sub-second response time. Second is easy to set up and deploy and manage. So as you can see here, in several other services also, AWS is always easy to set up and create a environment for us. So automated administrative tasks that manage, monitor and scale our data warehouse. Definitely it is a cost effective because it starts small with $0.25 per hour and scale up to terabytes, petabytes for under 1000 per terabyte per year. Pay only for what you use, and the AWS services is definitely on the same servers. So scale quickly to meet our needs and query your data. Take maximum. A warehouse to S3 data lake will help you to gain unique insight that we can use it. Definitely it is secure, so you can use it. There are several use cases are also mentioned here to facilitate all your analytics workload, modernize your on-premises data warehouse, unify data warehouse and data lake. So let's see how we'll create a cluster. So for creating any cluster, just click on create cluster. So you can see here, whenever you're clicking on the any cluster, it will ask for your payment details. Creating any cluster, you will need to have some balance or data. So for creating any cluster, you have to provide your master user passwords, and after providing the password, you're able to create this data because this is not at all a free service. So whenever you are using in the production, but for trial version you can use it. So for creating any cluster configuration, you will need to have compute 2 vCPU generation node 1. This all you can get it. So database configuration is also required. So master user name is required. Provide your user password. Once you provide this, you're able to create your service. So you can see here it is asking for your master username and password. So once you click this or create a cluster, there are several steps for providing the permission as well. So I'm not going to create. Once you provide the password for free version, this cluster will be created and you have to configure your security groups. So for configuring any security group, you have to go to your EC2 VPC instance, from where you can provide the detail or configure with parameters. Creating that, you can also modify it, or whether if you have snapshots of your cluster, you can see all your cluster detail here. So from there you can use it for providing your permission. After providing the permission from this node, it will jump to ask for your inbound details or security groups. Security groups is always having TCP roles, protocols, port range and sources. Edit that details with your required frameworks, then connect to Redshift cluster. So after entering all this detail, you have to enter your Redshift cluster detail for connection of jdbc or odbc. It's totally dependent on your requirement from where you want to configure it. So just like click on this, let me add here as a now you can see I've already created here. So based on your cluster detail, you can modify it from here. After creating a cluster, you're able to see Redshift cluster is available here. Just click on this. So once you will hit for creating a cluster, you should have to wait for the confirmation, and once you receive the confirmation, you're able to see this cluster is available inside your account. So let's see how it looks. So general information is available here, just like status. Now it is available or active in state. Endpoint, if you want to integrate this cluster with any other application, there is an endpoint is created for you. You can copy this on clicking these two tabs and you can paste it to the other place. Same thing is available for the jdbc URL. If you want to connect with your SQL connection which is available inside your system, it will collect the data from your system and upload it to the cloud. Same way you can do it for the odbc URL as well. Several other details are also available, just like CPU utilization, how your CPU is working and utilized for your system, database connection detail, then health status, how is your health status. If there is an unhealthy, then definitely red bar will be available here. If it is in healthy state, then you can see it thus. So even though there is a query monitoring tool is also available, just click on this and see other details which is required for your information. You can pull it out your query list, database performance, workload concurrency. These all details are also available. Maintenance and monitoring detail, if you want to track it, you can do that. If you want to create any LR, you can just go ahead and create this. So whenever there is any failure occur or any issue occur inside your cluster, it will immediately warn you. For connecting your database connection from system to your cluster, just have to copy and paste these URL. If you want to perform your query URL is associated with this, you have to create a new connection. Once your connection is established, you can use your database. So you have to provide your database name, user and password as well. So by this way, you can use it for your cluster. So for opening your cluster, just click on this cluster tab and you have to click on your cluster name, and then different tabs are available. If you want to schedule anything, you can schedule it from this tab. Properties. So all your property details are also available, just like manage master user password if you want to copy and paste it some other place. If you want to attach your IAM role, definitely you can do it from here. Manage tags. If you want to add your tags or manage that, edit your tags, definitely you can go ahead and add the details. Database connection is always there. If you want to change it to database configuration, click on edit and provide the required detail and click on save. So your database detail will be updated. Same way we can do that for the network and security details. So this is how our cluster will look like, and Redshift cluster will work according to our requirement. So as we have seen in different tabs, there's the benefits are available. These all benefits we can use it at any point of time. So if I want to delete that cluster whenever not required, just click on this and you're able to see several actions are available here, just like resize, modify, reboot, pause, delete. So reboot is basically when you click on the reboot, it will restart your CPU in everything available in between your cluster. So if you want to delete it, just click on delete. It will ask for your permission to create final snapshot or delete all database in the cluster, deleting the automated snapshots and all the details which is available inside your Redshift cluster final snapshot. It will be deleted forever. So once you click on delete tab, it will take some time for activating or some time for updating. So whenever complete detail is deleting of your cluster is done, you are able to see the status as a deleted. So this is all about Redshift cluster or AWS Redshift. Let's recap this. We have started with Redshift, what is the uses, and first of all basic concept of Redshift. Then we had a look on benefits. Several benefits are attached with this. We can use it according to a requirement, pay that, secure as well. Then we saw that the use cases, and finally I have created one cluster here and shown you about different details which we can edit it, update it or connect it from our system whenever required. So this is all about AWS Redshift. Hope you liked it. If you really enjoyed this video, consider subscribing and pressing bell icon for more updates. Thank you for watching.